live. If you see me, if you hear me, I'm indoors at the moment. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Barbara. I can see the chat. Luckily, that's because I'm joining, because I'm live streaming from YouTube directly, not from the Streamlabs. Because if you remember, for the past few tours, I actually had issue with the chat. I couldn't really see anything, and I had to join from, with my second phone uh, to see your comments. So that's why I was a bit worried about this time. Yeah, so as you see, I'm in nice surroundings and I'm indoors. Exactly, Christine. Happy Easter to everyone celebrating Orthodox Easter. Actually, well, it's a big day for Georgians because Georgia is Orthodox Christian country. So he is risen, and it's a very rainy day in Tbilisi. Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Shavua Tov to everyone, exactly. Hi, Misha. Misha is here. This is so sweet. Hi, Dorley. Hi, Maria, everyone. Basically, it's been raining almost all the time with just with some coffee breaks, I would say. So whenever during the day I was indoors in a cafe or just elsewhere, it was okay. It wasn't raining. Once I just popped outside, the rain began. This is how silly it was. So actually, as I was getting ready for this tour, there was a really heavy rain, but it seemed to have stopped, which means that I'll start the tour, and let me quickly walk you through what the tour is going to look like. But before, I would like to finish my uh, beautiful cup of coffee. Actually, look, it's so cozy, right? Such a lovely mug. I'm in a place which I just honestly found by chance. I was just looking for a place, for a dry place. And there just happened to be this beautiful, like a creative space. It's a cafe. It's like a co-working space. Hi, Natalie. Hugs back. And there's also even a tiny cinema here. And they asked, from the guys here, for permission to start streaming from here, and they said okay. And actually, it's not really crowded, so I'm not gonna be really invading anybody's privacy. And they made me such a lovely coffee. Actually, latte or cappuccino is what I normally take, but today I ordered something different. There is a well, there is a coffee. This is the beautiful mug. That's what it looks like. Um, it's a rough coffee. This is the coffee that was actually the recipe was invented in Russia, in Moscow, some years ago. And today, while I was exploring Tbilisi, while I'm getting ready for my next tour, which is already scheduled for next weekend, you can check out on my website, anyukai.com. So I just, by accident, honestly, I just found myself in St. Petersburg Street, and I felt so terribly homesick. And so that's why I thought taking rough coffee that was invented in Moscow, which is not my favorite because it's very rich. It's not made with milk. It's made with cream, and they add also syrup in it. You saw the picture? Okay, I will also switch the camera and show it again, but I need to wrap this up here and start the tour actually. Um, so then, and it was exactly what the doctor ordered. I also needed something hot and quite rich, because it's been, well, it's been not really the best weather today. But I know that in a few days from now, the real heat is going to kick in, and I know I'll be missing this weather so much. That's why I'm enjoying it. But I had to change this tour a little bit. Well, just a little bit, and I'm still not sure whether I'll be able to take it to the top of the mountain, because we're supposed to take a funicular, but I'm not sure whether it worked in the afternoon, but I'm not sure if it's okay now, and if it's okay if there are long lines. Hopefully not, but who knows? But we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear, and you know that even if something is not going to work out, it's, they will always find something else. I mean, we're in a beautiful area anyway. So I'll finish my coffee. Cheers. And give me a minute, and I'll switch the camera and show you the beautiful room. Okay, look. I'll just put you here. I'll put the gimbal here on my phone, and I need to put my bag. Just look at the surroundings. It's a lovely spot. So artsy. Basically, this place is run by Russian-speaking guys. So I assume these are one of those hundreds and thousands of Russians that moved from Russia uh, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. That's what I think. So, and many of those people started a business here, and some would open cafes, workspaces. I think it looks really cozy. And it's a historic building, actually, 19th century. They even have a fireplace here. Look at that. Looks really artsy, right? That's me over there. Yay. I have my umbrella because it may start raining anytime. And I also like the arrangement here. I mean, just like the interior, it's so simple, but it's a really, really nice look. I like this, and I also like what they did to the books. So the books have become kind of a wallpapers. No, actually, it's like a tapestry made of books. Sorry, I don't mean to uh, just get on people's nerves. There's one gentleman here working, so yeah. Actually, these are books in Russian. Oh my goodness, this is some physics. No, better not. This is some book about Georgia as well, some maps. Oh, I love it. I just love it. So the place is called Fox Bay. So cozy. This could be a really good office space. Thank you so much. Bye bye. So let's go. I'll just show you also over here. So there's a tiny, tiny cinema, very cozy. Okay, and that's the name of the place in case you're interested. So Fox Bay. They call it an art space. Right? And it is a very artsy space indeed. And I also like the way it looks from the outside. So you see, it's gloomy. The sky is really, really gray. They have a lovely balcony, though. Yeah, Carl, that's a cozy space. They have lots of events scheduled, and I was just super lucky that the workspace was free, and I mean, they allowed me to live stream from there. I mean, normally it's never a problem, but I would always ask because I don't want to don't want to cause any issues and problems to people. So, well, originally this tour was supposed to be about Sololaki, and it's called From Bottom to the Top. And this was supposed to be actually the eighth episode of Sololaki tours and the final one. But because of the weather, and also because I have discovered something new, I thought, I have decided to just change a few things on the itinerary. So I'm kind of combining two areas, two neighborhoods. Actually, they are both located one next to the other, so it's not really a big change, I would say. And well, what we're going to do slowly, passing by beautiful spots, will be going up the hill. So wish me luck, because we are starting from the bottom, but We are to finish at least at the footsteps of a mountain, but hopefully we'll be able to go up. But before that, look at this beautiful rose bush. There are so many flowers in the area. And if you missed the tour in the botanical garden that I did on Friday, it's still there available on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching this tour, you know where to where to find that video. And also yesterday's tour of Jerusalem is also available. I know Sharon was asking. So last night I actually uploaded it. Look at these beautiful roses. Look at these beautiful balconies. So we are, well, actually, the neighborhood is called Mtatsminda. Um, it's named after a mountain, and we will see this mountain very soon. And we're supposed to actually go up the mountain. And let's say this is a neighborhood, like very, very central, very upscale neighborhood. Well, just look at this building. It doesn't even fit the screen. Oh, this is the building of the Supreme Court of Georgia. It was constructed in 1830 and sorry, 1894, and obviously a Supreme Court building. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Will you be pushing me from the back? This will be very, very, very handy, I should say. Yeah, at least the rain had stopped. Let's not jinx it though, because you never know. And obviously, a Supreme Court building wouldn't be placed just anywhere. So actually, really yeah, that was a really nice coffee. Really 5 minutes away from here, or maybe even less. Yeah, definitely less than that. There is the Rustaveli Avenue, the central avenue of Tbilisi. And I did one tour there for both virtual tours, I think last week. But because of the recent protests, I have decided to postpone the tours. Hi, I'll just show the lions. So since it's the Supreme Court building, of course they are guarding it, but I just wanted to show the beautiful lions over here. I am pretty sure they also the guards, nice ones. And what if I just strike them on the mane? I'm joking, of course, that's just me. So that's why the Rustaveli Avenue, we're gonna have to wait a little bit for those tours, but they are going to happen. Uh, well, I'm not going to climb up the mountain myself. I'm going to take a funicular, if it's operating, of course. Uh, Estonian flag? Um, no, this is the flag of Georgian flag of the European Union over there. The Estonian flag? I don't know. I haven't seen it. It should be blue and black, right? No, I haven't seen it. No, no, no. Anyway, but yeah, actually, in Sololaki there used to be an Estonian embassy, by the way, like council, I would say. Look at that. So we are in a very upscale neighborhood, but most people, especially tourists, just visitors, would normally walk along the Rustaveli Avenue, or they would just normally take a taxi that would take them exactly to the station of Funicular to go up the mountain. And that's what they would miss. These tiny houses from early 19th century Tbilisi. And well, I think this area is a pure gem. It's like really stone throw away from the main street, but it is so, so under discovered. Look at this. So this building, unfortunately, is, well, judging by the windows over there, definitely it's like an abandoned house, or maybe it's partially abandoned. Who knows? But it looks so nice. And the thing is that the yeah, that's the U, but that's the EU flag. But it's also, I would say, pretty. Um, well, it resembles, in a way, it does resemble the Estonian flag. And unfortunately, for many of the buildings that I will be showing you today, I haven't been able to find a lot of information. But I have been able to find enough information that would explain why we don't know much about the buildings. And you can give it a try. You can guess why it is so. So I'm talking about now 19th century architecture.
because this is exactly when the Rustaveli Avenue, it's over there, by the way. And I promise we will enjoy the beauty of the Rustaveli Avenue. It's over there, very close, you see? Very close. And I like these views. I mean, yeah, we see some also trash bins, but in general, I like the views. And for some reason, like my eye is actually quite okay. Uh, it's just, I don't know, it kind of really literally turned the blind eye on to some graffitis, to trash bins, to dilapidating houses. I don't know why, but I just, I don't know. I'm quite happy with what I see. Yeah, of course, I wish there hadn't been any graffitis. I wish the buildings had been all renovated, restored, really taken care of. But, well, I also understand why this hasn't happened yet, why things are the way they are. But I'm sure it will change. I'm pretty sure. Thank you so much for all the hearts. And well, there is one of the reasons, one of the explanations I wanted to show you, to share with you. So you can see there the name of the street. I'll come closer so you'll be able to see it. So this is the Mihai Zici Street. Actually, Mihai Zici is the artist, the 19th century Hungarian artist. I'll take you a little bit to this neighborhood. It's not tourist at all. The actual locals live here. I'm not sure how many tourists have been here at all, but there is some old houses. I'll just show you two tiny ones, but they are the witnesses of the events I'll be telling you right now. So as you remember, in 1801, Georgia was um, annexed to the Russian Empire. It started in 1790s as a treaty, as an initiative of the Georgian king, Heraclius II. But then quite quickly, it is quiet. It is quiet. Wow, look at these charming lions. I wish I could also give them a stroke, but okay, next time, some other time for sure. Hi, Ronnie. Good to see you. Yes, and I hope you're okay with me showing you some buildings that are not in their best condition. Well, these, however, have been taken off. Have been taken care of. Look. Hi, Joyce. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Oh, and thanks for the papers and coffees already coming in. I haven't even started properly yet. And so this is exactly when the city was recuperating from the actually what happened to be the last big destruction in the city, the last big war. It took place in 1795. And well, even though Georgia was already under protectorate of, under protection of the Russian Empire, still the Persian army of Khan Mohammed Khan still managed to invade and destroy Tbilisi uh, almost to ashes. The city was just burned down. So the new government was in charge of rebuilding the country and rebuilding it, of course, in a European way, I would say. And because before that, Georgia, even though it was a Christian country, it had endured by that time so much of the uh, uh, Muslim influence. So it looked very much like any town in the Middle East. And then this is when the big change came. And the street named after Mihai Zici is quite interesting because actually Mihai Zici is a Hungarian artist who was hired by the Romanovs to be their court artist. Mihai Zici is the artist who made official gala portraits of several Russian monarchs, Nicholas I, Alexander II, and he actually portrayed the coronation ceremonies of several Russian monarchs as well. Nicholas I, Alexander II, Alexander III, who was the last but one monarch, and he also was invited to here to Tbilisi. he was given several commissions to just, to make landscapes of the area, because there was a huge interest in the Caucasus from the Romanovs, because they were also investing a lot of money, because in the 19th century, in the late 19th century, also later on, there would be oil found, and before that, coals. So of course there was a lot of interest. And what I'm showing you, you can see, okay, in a pretty bad condition, like European style kind of building, and then you see the Ottoman time inspired balcony. We will see a lot of that. So even though the city was Europeanized in terms of architecture, yet it still had this unique, really, really unique vibe. Well, okay, these are my favorite. These are my favorite. So Mikhail Zichi created some really, I would say, unique, very important landscapes of Georgia. And he also made portraits of some of the important, like, aristocratic family members in Tbilisi as well. But he surely didn't see this. I haven't been able to find any information regarding this house. It does look old, but look at these. I hope I won't hurt anybody's feelings, but it just look ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Uh, I mean, they're cute, and somebody really, really tried really hard to. Please let me know if the chat is working, because I don't see the chat. I mean, like, I normally see the messages when they they pop up, but I don't really see them all the time. So please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, and if you can see these gorgeous. I'm not even sure if these are men or women. Probably men, probably women. Natalie, well, opulence of this architecture is really over the top. Great balconies. Yeah, absolutely great balconies. So no wonder I haven't been able to find a lot. It looks like this was added much later, even if the building is of the 19th century, it looks like these things would be added later on. Yeah, perfection. how how well, how could I just, miss out on that? No, of course I wanted to show you this. So, okay, wait. I need to cross here. And trust me, this is the least touristy itinerary I could have think for today. It's very local, like really, really very local. This is just a supermarket, by the way, Spar, which you can see many of those shops in Europe. And I just like the way they decorated the facade. Yeah. Okay. So, but let's move on. So I would say this is a residential neighborhood, not tourist at all. So you'll see here some food stores, and that's it. Mostly nothing else. Yeah, here, very good. But there is some nice examples of architecture. Well, this is quite interesting. This is definitely not 19th century. This is already the 20th century architecture. And the building was originally, well, from what I've been able to find, and let me also, I'll try to zoom out as much as I can. I need to stop a little bit backwards. This route is too narrow. I can't really fit everything in. Yes, so this is quite an interesting house. So this is already the 1920s. The international style architecture influence of the Bauhaus. Well, Bauhaus is just the name of the school. That basically the idea was to build in the international style for the new world, basically the world recuperating from the First World War, the world that didn't need to, that wanted to get rid of all nationalistic elements and to be international. That's the word. And this is when this type of architecture, you can refer to it as Bauhaus, or constructivism in Russia is the term. I'm in Tbilisi. I'm in Tbilisi. Oh, you were not asking me. So yes, By looking at this, you can't really say you're in Tbilisi because it looks very similar to the white city of Tel Aviv, for example. Because in Tel Aviv, there is a big complex of such buildings. It's called the White City of Tel Aviv, also international style, 1920s, 1930s. And this was also built at the same time, basically. And the idea was everything for function. You can find these buildings in many areas. Good to know that you're in London. Yeah, I understand, Sarah. I understand Natalie and Sarah totally understand. It's because I don't see the chat in full. I only see messages when they pop up. I just try to catch uh, to catch up with everything I see. And well, it's about function. It's not about just decoration for the sake of decoration. In the hot climate, what you would need, of course, balconies. You would need some flow of a free flow of air, and you get that here at the staircase. Later on, one more section would be added. Normally, for the international style, there would be well, the flat roofs, and there would be, these spaces, for the flat, would the roof would also be used uh, for sunbathing or some other activities. And you see here, they also had small gardens, and it's still there, by the way. Well, I can't really, well, we can probably do it this way. So there you go. You can see. So the very, I would say, clever use of space, and of course the shutters over there. Yeah, there's a lot of uh, uh, green in this area. It's very green in general, and the sky is very gray, very. And as we're now passing by this ornate street, which is in a bad condition, I'm sorry, but it really has the vibe. And I hope you're okay with me showing this because I find something really special in it. So we are on Arsena Street, and this name is actually, well, this is the name of an important character. So I was just talking about how Russia um, annexed uh, Georgia, and obviously Georgians were not happy with how it went out because how it turned out because there was a lot of disregard to the well, to the independence of the Georgian church, and it had to basically submit to the Russian patriarchy, which was a very what well, this is what definitely the Russians had to have a regard for, but they didn't. And also, one more thing happened. Russia at that time still had the serfdom, slavery, which would only be abolished in 1861, as you remember, by Alexander II. And all of a sudden, and Georgia was free. There was no such thing as serfdom or slavery in Georgia. But then all of a sudden, people who were renting the land from well, it was like feudal system in a way. Some people own the land and other people just rented from them. That's how it was. There's no information about this house. I will explain later, so we'll have time while we'll be waiting for the funicular. We'll have time, and I will explain you many things. But now, as I'm also on my way to the funicular, I need to take into account the timing. So no information about this house, but this looks very much like early 19th century stone architecture in Moscow. This is very, very Moscow style. Well, we are in well, we technically are in this early 19th century. And so all of a sudden, the people that before Georgia became part of the Russian Empire, they had been, well, they had been renting the plot of land, but then all of a sudden they became property of, well, of the people who own the land. And that was something they were not happy about. And let me introduce you to, well, actually, there's no portrait of this person, but he's a national hero, and the street is named after him. Hold on a moment. I have a photo, at least, of a monument to him. Okay, Arsena Ozelashvili. He was the so-called Robin the Hood of Georgia. He exactly happened to be one of those people who was directly affected by that thing. He all of a sudden, and his family all of a sudden became serfs. They became slaves, and uh, he he basically had a group of friends, and they formed a gang, and they would attack the officials from the Russian Empire, and they would rob them and give the money to the poor. So that's why he was called Robin the Hood of Georgia. So that's why the street here is named after him. Actually, you can basically learn Georgian history by just looking at the street names. This is a beautiful house, and I'm already a bit short of breath because I'm going up the mountain. I'm going up the hill, not the mountain yet, just the hill. Mtatsminda hill. Look at this beautiful, ornate house with lovely balcony, with the ivy. Oh, thick as grapes, and Ukrainian flags, of course, and the Georgian flag, and the European Union flag. Well, this is a very important house because here used to live a wife of also another very important hero for the entire country of Georgia. Here used to live Olga Chevchavadze. Nice, really, really cute. So Olga Chevchavadze, she was wife to Ilya Chevchavadze. I will show you, first of all, I'll show you his portrait. This is Ilya Chevchavadze. He was a writer, a philosopher, and the big fighter for sovereignty of Georgia, for preservation of the Georgian language. He also, well, changed a little bit, modernized Georgian language as well. And so he was protecting, I would say, Georgian language, Georgian sovereignty from the Russian Empire, mostly. And that's his wife. Let me show you her portrait as well. I should have it somewhere. Yeah, there you go. This is Olga Chevchavadze. And well, Robin the Hood, the Arsena, was killed by some other gang. And unfortunately, Ilya Chevchavadze, actually after whom many streets and avenues in every Georgian city are named, Ilya Chevchavadze was also assassinated. He was shot in front of his wife by a gang, just in the middle of the street in the broad daylight. And it's still a big mystery what exactly happened, why he was killed, because it definitely looked like somebody just paid them to kill him. It's still a mystery who that could have been. So we don't know much, but he is remembered. His novels are read, studied at school. So he's a big hero still. And look at the street. So we are on the street named after another poet, Romanticism period, early 18th century. The street is called the Tbilisi Street, and it takes you all the way to the Mtatsminda mountain. So hopefully, in the end, I'm not sure when exactly this will happen, we'll be over there. And this is like 700 meters up. Okay, so I want to show you something. Well, first of all, let me introduce you to this person. Basiki is, well, basically it's his nickname, but that's how he's known. That's quite a climb. I'm not going to climb the mountains, just this hill to take it to the funicular. Let's see how it works. So I would say he was, in a way, he was kind of a Georgian Byron, same period, almost the same period. Well, the same romanticism, so to speak. And over there, you see a church. You cannot but notice it. And it has well, very important big connection to the Mtatsminda mountain. We will talk more about it. But before, well, just I want to show you some more photos of the street. It's an ancient street. The street is actually, of course, much older than the 19th century, but obviously it was rebuilt extensively. I have some photographs for you of the street. So yeah, the cars are gone. So you see, this is the perspective. So this is the line of the street, and there is a photo. Look, nothing really has changed, and the photo was taken around 1910s. Nothing really has changed. Just a bit more cars, I would say. And the over there in this photograph, you see the line, and you see on top there's a pavilion. So the pavilion is different. We will talk about it. But that line over there, this is exactly the funicular line. Okay, so we are very high already. Take note of this church. Okay, I'm almost there. Look at the lamppost as well. Really nice. Old lamppost. Really old. The church looks very similar to, well, most of Georgian Orthodox churches. Well, this looks like I'm somewhere in a provincial in a province outside of Moscow or St. Petersburg, like 19th century, and there's going to be a lady in a beautiful dress strolling past me. No, honestly, this looks like I'm somewhere, like I've time traveled. If you're taking any screenshots, please take this one for me. I find it so charming. And look at that. Look at those skies. So I have just taken you to a very touristy place, down some, or sorry, not down, up a very non-touristy road. And I have no idea why the Pilates studio, as their logo, have chosen the dumpling. I'm not sure what they're trying to convey, that you're going to be as supple as the dough of a dumpling. Honestly, I don't know. When I see this, I actually want to go to a cafe, not for a Pilates session. No, honestly. But, okay, so here we are. Wait, it's going to be beautiful. Even if we're not getting to the uh, funicular, the funicular pavilion is beautiful. Anyway, I don't see very long line, but let's see how it goes. I see people waiting there. Well, it looks like it's working. That's good. And look at this beautiful pavilion. Isn't it nice? So this is the historic entrance to the funicular station. And since it's like all time sensitive, I will be, well, just make sure you take note of that. And I will be going, because the funicular goes only once in 20 minutes. I have my card already with me. Yes. There you go. This is the card. Oh no, this way. So let's see. And I don't know how long we're going to it, but I prepared a bunch of stories as well. Hi. Thanks. When is the next funicular? When? When?
Every 20 minutes.
So when is the next one? 10 minutes. Okay, so in 10 minutes they're going. That's good, which means I have some time to show you around. Well, basically, that's what it is. Up there for 700 meters, we'll be going along this old early 20th century tram line, funicular line. And of course, everybody will be trying to, so we'll be trying to take the best spots. Well, we'll see. I'll try to show you something, well, as much as I can. So basically, the slope angle is about 37 degrees. The tram line is actually 500 meters, and the top of the mountain, so the height of the Mtatsminda mountain is 700 meters. Please feel free to convert, just in case it's very difficult to pronounce. So this is what is written. Yes, it is safe, Natalie. Mtatsminda Park. So on top of Mtatsminda mountain, and Mtatsminda actually means a holy mountain. There is a like a recreational park, and there's a funicular coming over there, as you see. So it's not a cable car. The cable car is the plan for the next time. Yay, it's coming. Honey, I'm home. Of course, the funiculars are not from the early 1900s. So the funicular station opened in 1905.
Where are you? Moscow.
Oh, that's so sweet. There were tourists from Moscow, there were tourists from North Carolina. So weird. Wow, that's so great, so great. And it's just lovely, honestly. So let's see when we'll be able to. Well, now people are leaving, so I'll share with you a bunch of stories. And actually, at the same time, there were other funiculars being constructed in the Russian Empire. Well, at that point, in the Russian Empire was also included the territory of Ukraine. So there were two more funiculars being built. Okay, so let's go. Okay, okay, we'll go up from here and we'll take the front row. Okay, I don't know if I can take the front row. Maybe not. We'll see. But that's what it's going to look like. So at that time, so as I said, in Odessa and in Kiev, two other funiculars were being constructed. I'm not sure if I can actually stand here because I'm not sure how it's going to be operated. I have actually taken the funicular once, but not from not in the front row, I would say. So I've been quite lucky, but let's see how it goes. They might ask me to move somewhere. Let me show you what the funicular looks like inside. So there you go. So you can have a seat, but you can also go standing as well. And there's actually going to be one intermediary station. Please let me know if you can see me, if everything is working fine. And I want to show you just some old photographs, and I'll be sharing more on the top as well. There's going to be one intermediary station. So over there, you can see there is a kind of a hub. So this is where you see there's only one line, and over there is a station where they would actually the two lines it would split into two, and this is how you know that the funiculars would be able to go in both directions. Yay! Thank you so much for letting me know. It's all good. So we have seen the lower pavilion, the lower entrance of the funicular. So that's what it looked like in the early 1900s. Actually, the same, almost the same. um, well, we will see the town shrink. No, we won't see the town shrink, but well, it will be impressive anyway. We will see the town from the very top, and that's going to be impressive. So let's save it for the next time. Let's save it while the town shrink for actually when we see it from the top, from the 700 up. Some more photographs. So the pavilion of the lower funicular station looked like that. There you go. So this is the lower pavilion. Obviously, you see, actually now they're all covered. There's glass everywhere, but back then they were just wooden like wooden barriers, and that's it. So that was a lot more dangerous and intimidating. And some more photos. Wait, there you go. All these photos were all taken into postcards, so that's why they have survived, I would say. So there you go. I am excited, actually. I am excited. Oh, and okay, so as we will be going, that's what will be passing by. Well, and this is the photo taken from the outside, of course, from someone standing on the mountain, on the slope of the mountain. I would have never been able to do that. This looks very scary, like really, really scary. So, but this is the old funicular, still has no glass windows, nothing. This is exciting. Oh, Ashraf, you should have seen me some 2 years ago in St. Petersburg. For the New Year session, I actually took this crazy tobogganing thing, and I just honestly I yelled, I yelled like a live stream mode. It was scary. It was like really, really, I would say really, really steep slope. So it was so much fun. I know that some of the viewers that are now watching it, they watched that tour too. Some of my really, really long time viewers, and I'm so sad. I'm so missing those days. You have no idea. So actually, maybe you have. Oh, and by the way, that's me. That's still me. I'm not even pale, so I'm not really scared. And that's the pavilion behind me and some other people. Yeah, well, not as exciting as the old photos anyway. So I'll switch the camera now. So I'll show you some more. So as I said, there will be an intermediary station. And I also happened to find the old photo taken at that intermediary station. So it looks like we're going to need another 5 minutes before they actually launch the funicular. It's transportation plus carnival ride. Kind of. So it's a breathtaking view from up from there. We are not going to get off there just now, but I will explain when we go and we're there. I will explain what there is something really important and special, and I still haven't mentioned anything about the church, so I will. Exactly. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We go into the moon. Exactly. Okay. So now let's talk about that church. I also have another a photo of the church. Well, this is the way it looks now. Oh, sorry. There you go. That's the way the church looks now. And the church is named consecrated to David of Gareji. Gareji is a town actually at the border between, very close to Georgian border in Azerbaijan. But at some point, Gareji was the town, was a Georgian territory. It was annexed by one of the czars of Georgia. And well, actually, David of Gareji he originally was not from Gareji. David was from Syria, and he was one of the 13 Syrians that came to Georgia to prophesy, to actually spread Christianity. And I want to show you what it looks like. Hold on a second. There you go. So this is David of Gareji. This is the okay. So that church is consecrated after him, and looks like we are going. Yay! Okay. Yay! Please tell me that you're excited. I am excited very much. So it looks like we're gonna have to wait another couple minutes or something like that. That's okay. Yay! Good. Yeah, soon. We're taking off soon. So, and well, um, David of Goreji, who's obviously a saint now of the Georgian Orthodox Church, so he was um, um, well, he was basically a philosopher, and, well, a monk. And actually, these 13 Syrian monks, they founded the monasticism in Georgia. And we are going up. Yay, Natalie. So we're going. And why also I've chosen to, well, to stay here, because you'll be able to pass by, some sites, and we will see the city, tiny Tbilisi, the police from 1700 meters shortly. And look at the wilderness over here. So, like, it's really hard to believe that you are in the megapolis. Really, really hard. Look at that. That's what you can see from here as well. So the tiny Tbilisi, Rustaveli Avenue, and the slopes of the Mtatsminda mountain. It's going to be even more beautiful. So we're reaching this intermediary station. So this is where it splits into two. So there's another funicular coming. It's full timed, and this is how we'll be able to go up. Are you here? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Look at that. Oh, this is so gorgeous. Please, 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 please. Wow. I will be back. Yeah, I know it's frozen. I know. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I'm not telling anything. Yay, that's cool. We're here. Yeah. So I might be disappearing, but I will rejoin. Don't worry, I will. Well, Tbilisi is some slack. You're in the mountains. Yay! Thanks so much. Woohoo! There you go. Yeah. So I hope you've been able to catch a glimpse of the scenery. But the most beautiful thing is yet to come. So don't worry. I can barely hear myself. I feel like I'm really under the water because of the pressure. I really, really feel the pressure. So over there, this is the road, the steps to the Mtatsminda Park. But we are not going to Mtatsminda Park. There's really not much to do there. It's just an attractions, mostly from the Soviet times. And even Grisha didn't like it much. Well, but if I ever get nostalgic about the Soviet Union, well, this is where I would definitely go. Yeah. I knew you would hear me perfectly. It just needed some time because obviously, well, I think it was quite expected that some glitches would happen, but that's okay now. Oh, I wish you could smell it. It's so much fresher. Oxygen. I really, I can smell the oxygen. The air is so fresh, so clean. Well, you're almost half a mile in the skies. I still owe you a bunch of stories, so just wait a bit, and I will be overrunning maybe by, I don't know, 10 minutes. 10 minutes maximum. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is where I want to take you. Well, obviously, as you see, please let me know in the chat that it's working, that you can see me. Well, it looks like you can, but you never know. So this pavilion, oh, they already lit it up. That's cool. So this is the modern pavilion. It was constructed in the Soviet times. You can clearly see the Soviet aspirations in it. Very Stalin kind of architecture. But that's not what we're here for. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Goodness. Look. at that. I can clearly see the clouds very low. Can you see that? Look at that. It looks like you can touch those clouds. I'm I'm a bit speechless, you know. I am a tiny little bit speechless. Just tiny little bit. Tiny little bit. Wowza. Yes. So you are in Tbilisi. Can you imagine you are now in the heart of the old city, but you are in the wilderness. It's absolutely breathtaking. It's a very, very special feeling now, honestly, being here, seeing all that. I mean, the camera is doing a good job, but still it's not good enough. So the megapolis here is basically a stone throw away from the wilderness. That's why I really, really, really been wanting to take you here. And actually, I think only thanks to the bad weather, we have been able to do that because it's Sunday and well, the tourist season has already started, kind of. And so otherwise, there would have been a long line. So I would say this bad weather and me freezing and really soaking actually, well, prior to that, because it's been dry. Wow, we should be really grateful for. Look at the skies, they're ominous over there on the top. Look. So I think it was really this bad weather was a blessing in disguise. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to do this. And this is the old city. And why actually I'm saying, well, why I originally named this tour well, the Sololaki final episode, because the Sololaki is also there. And because we actually saw the Mtatsminda mountain from the Sololaki. So originally the plan was to take you, and by the way, over there, this is the Kura River. That's the famous Kura River. And the city is, it's just basically stretched all along the flow of Kura for many kilometers. Also, so originally the plan was a little bit different, but don't worry, we'll be able to see what we haven't been able to see today some other time. Don't worry. And look, so over there, this is the part of the Avlabari neighborhood, which is originally an Armenian quarter. And in the very heart of Avlabari stands this church. So this is the cathedral, the Trinity Cathedral, the main church of the country, basically. It's a new one. It's a new church. Before that, it was the Sioni Cathedral in the old city. It's the grand church, a big one, and I'll be taking you there for sure. Just give me time. We'll see the area, and even though the church is new, there are a bunch of stories to share. And look at that! Look just at the horizon. So what's next after this tour, Natalie? So after I share with you some other stories, because I mentioned the church, I mentioned the Davido Gareggi, and well, after that, at 10 p.m. local time, so which is GMT plus 4, I will be taking you to the Russian Museum of St. Petersburg. And the tours for the next weekend are already scheduled. So basically, next weekend on Saturday, I don't remember if it's Saturday and Sunday, but next weekend I'm launching the new series of Tbilisi walks, and we haven't been there yet. The area is called Chugureti, and it's a beautiful 19th century neighborhood with loads of Art Nouveau. Loads of Art Nouveau. I hope you're not bored. That's what it looks like. I mean, I'm not bored. I could be looking at it forever, but of course there are some stories to share, and I'm just about to do that now. Well, I don't remember. I have several tours scheduled. Some of them about St. Petersburg, some about Israel. So I'll be taking you to the German colony and the cemetery of German Templars, 19th century cemetery in Jerusalem. And oh goodness, you're not bored. That's good. That's good to know. And by the way, over there, so this is the Rustaveli Avenue, and this is the first skyscraper built in 2007, I believe. And well, that's the Justice Palace over there. It's the modern building, also like early 2000s or the first decade of the 2000s. Oh, thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much. So, as I said, I owe you some stories. And so we'll actually see Jewish quarter in Tbilisi. It will happen also soon. I haven't finished reading a big, big, very thick book on history of Georgian Jews. So just, give me some more time. I want to make sure I know everything. Well, it's impossible to know everything, but I want to know as much as possible. I know the degree of responsibility here. So, and David of Goreji. So once again, so that's the church we have seen. Thank you so much for the coffees, Carla. Thank you. And Satyam, I've seen the coffees coming even before the tour. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. So that's the church consecrated to David of Goreji. That's the old photo of it taken from the funicular. So basically, that station where the track split into two, this is exactly from that station. You actually could go to the church, but it's closed now anyway. And Also on that station, there is also a entrance to the cemetery, Pantheon Cemetery, and it started from the grave of an outstanding, actually Russian poet and his wife. So that's his grave. I will tell you the story a little bit later. So, but from that intermediary station, you could actually visit those two places, but they're all closed now, and I'm planning that for some other time. So, but it will happen. Don't worry, it will. And some more photos of the funicular, by the way. There's a good collection of them. So there also used to be steps that one could take, but those steps were not available for public. I mean, there was, like for service. Yes, you can see the mountains. Yeah, you can see them. So I promise you there will be some sweeping views. And there's also, just to understand where we are. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you so much for the tipping. So you see, it's quite steep, 37, 38 degrees. This is the angle. Well, it looks pretty scary, but I wasn't scared at all. The only things I could really, really feel the pressure in my ears. So, and David of Gareji, uh, so as I said, he was, well, one of the first 13 monks that came from Syria to spread Christianity. By that time, Georgia had already converted to Christianity thanks to Saint Nina or Saint Nino, but well, Nina, it was the fourth century, and of course, Christianity was, well, at that time was always here in Georgia, was always under threat of being ousted by Islam, because there were so many wars, there's so many annexations, invasions from Persia. Later on, with the Ottoman Empire, but at that time was Persia. So there was, well, it was Christianity was constantly under threat here. Of course, I'm now. It's not my opinion; it's what I'm just saying how things were. And so David of Goreji, uh, why actually the church is standing there? So when he came in the 6th century, he actually made himself a cave over there in the mountains, just there. And he lived in the cave because monks don't need much, right? So he just made himself a cave, and then and when then he left the cave, so he went to Gareji. So then in Gareji, the monastery was built and consecrated after him. But to commemorate him staying on Tatsminda mountain, and that's why the mountain was called Tatsminda, the holy mountain. And maybe this is why actually the main cathedral, the Trinity Cathedral, is basically built on the same axis where the center of the funicular is, the heart of the Tasminda mountain is. This is very, very possible, I would say. I'm only just getting this now. I might be imagining it, but I clearly see the same axis here. So, and to commemorate, he stay here in their cave. The first church was constructed, and in about 12th century it was destroyed completely in one of the wars, as usual. The story that Tbilisi was conquered at least 20 times in the 15th century old history. So you can imagine, and yeah, 15th century long history, more than 20 times of different annexations. That's impressive. So and so there was another church built, and the modern church, the current one is believed to have been standing since 15th century. I would say consequently. Okay, okay. Well, there it's a lot wilder, so I want to change of scene a little bit. And this is the modern pavilion. We'll talk about the pavilion because I like the old one much better. And also, I will try to see whether I'll be able to also quickly take the funicular down. Um, we'll see. I can't promise that. It's not really that I planned, and I also need to pay for it. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we'll see. So if you have time, you're welcome to stay with me and try to go down with the funicular as well. There's also a terrace here and a cafe. Well, of course, all the tables and chairs are wet, so no use. And anyway, that's the sweeping views. So that's all about the Davidov Gareji. Some more views on this area. Oh, sure, Dolly, no problem. You'll be able to catch with everything like whenever you want. So this will be available on my YouTube. Enjoy the concert, dear. So there you go. So this is another view from a bit different area, from actually the opposite bank of the Kura River. And well, now this is also the lower station over here from a different angle. Actually, this is from the Sololaki side. Basically, where the funicular station stands, this is exactly where the two neighborhoods. Thank you, Helen. Thank you so much, Helen. This is like basically the border between Sololaki and Mtatsminda neighborhood. So the neighborhood where we have just been is called Mtatsminda neighborhood. And well, I remind you, this is the lower pavilion, the lower station, and it's built in a Moorish style. So these are not Stars of David. I know they look like Stars of David, but they are not. It's just a typical feature, ornament pattern used in the Moorish style. But let me show you the photos of the upper pavilion because the upper station was much more beautiful than this one. Well, this is, as I said, Soviet architecture, and that's what it looked like. Look at this Art Nouveau-ish, beautiful station, standing almost alone on the top of the mountain. It was so beautiful, so beautiful. It's such a pity it's gone. Which do you like best, this one or this one? This one, just a different angle. Or this one. Yeah, there is a restaurant there. I mean, it's probably a lot more convenient than the original station. Yeah, I also Satyam like this one. Than this one. And well, obviously, in the Soviet time, the Mtatsminda Park was open. Before that, it was also recreational zone. So from the very beginning, it was the recreational park, like a public park, but originally without the attractions. But then attractions would be added, like different, like roller coasters. Uh, there used to be these beautiful monkey statues, really nice ones, honestly. Yeah, really original. Yeah, of course, the original one. Of course, of course. Well, the monkeys are gone. We don't know where the monkeys are. They're definitely not here anymore. I even found a bit close up. Really fun ones. Yeah, so actually, this is a very popular place, especially in the tourist season. And I'm pretty sure if the weather had been better, nah, we would have almost zero chances, I would say. And I would have to come once again during the business day, sometime, uh, you know, to take you here because definitely I would have tried to take you here some other time, but it's so much better on Sunday when most of you are available and we can do it actually in a live mode. So let's see if I can pay and we can go together. Also down, let's see. I need to find my card. Wait. So let's see. Hi. Can I pay in cash? Yeah. Just a second. Yeah, one. Just go down. Wait. How much is it? 10. Okay. So it's 10 lari one way. So one lari is 37 cents. US cents. I think 37. So basically, you're looking at the entrance to the cafe, but because I'm paying and I only have two hands, unfortunately, I desperately need the third one. And because I'm using the phone, I can't pay with my card. Yeah, thank you. Very good. Now I need to put the cash away. Okay. Yeah, you can go.
Wait.
Okay. Oh, the funicular is coming. So I don't know how long we'll have to wait, but there are many more stories to share. Oh, okay. Go from the other side. Woohoo. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thanks. And now, well, let's wait for people to leave, and then we'll be able to go inside. So obviously, if you have to go, you can go because this was not planned and I'm already overrunning. Look, there are quite a lot of people. So we were so lucky with the timing. If you can stay a little bit longer and to go with me till the end, yeah, men are getting off. Really. So it was like perfect timing, honestly. Really, really perfect timing. Can I go down? Yeah. Okay, I'll go down. So to show you the lower section, because we've been to the upper section and now we're going to the lower section. Woohoo! Wow, wow. This is this is actually scarier than I thought it would be. There you go. So as they say, it's probably another 20 minutes wait. So let's have a Q&A. Well, since I'm going down anyway, so why wasting this time? So oh, I just dropped my umbrella. Okay. Um, so let me turn the camera. So as I said, the tour is over, so you can leave. Well, you'll be able to also watch later on at your convenient time. I know it's weekend, so make the most of it. Thank you, Cindy. So anyway, I promised to explain you why there is no really a lot of information about most of the buildings, especially in the area where we have just been. I have the best seat ever, and actually, I can sit here. Hi. Okay, so and the thing is that the 19th century area, this is the imperial time, right? So the Russian Empire, the Soviets, when they, well, as you know, for 3 years after the collapse of the Russian Empire, Georgia was independent. It was like independent republic. But then the Soviets invaded, and the Soviet Union tried to basically eliminate the all the previous history from the imperial times, and obviously they couldn't care less about the preservation of Georgian, Georgian heritage, like so that's why everything that was built, before the Soviet times, well, what they tried and they succeeded in really erasing from history. That's the thing. And what is happening now in the post-Soviet period, especially I would say starting from 2000s, is that a lot of local historians, guides, many of them actually, many of them speak Russian. Many of them studied in Russia. Many of them, well, so those people were born in the Soviet times, so they know very well what the Soviet heritage is and what the issues are. So that's why. So they're trying to find information, to go through archives, to find bits of information every like here and there. Sometimes information is found in the archive somewhere in Moscow, in St. Petersburg as well. That's that's how it is. And why it only happened in 2000s? The thing is that in the 90s, well, in the early 90s, after the Soviet Union collapsed, the civil war in Georgia started, and it lasted for about a year, and it was well, it was horrible. It was really, really not safe to stay in Tbilisi, and many people actually left. I was told by some of my friends in Georgia that's how things were. And only after the civil war was over, they needed like many years, well, at least dozen of years to, make things work again. That's the thing. And obviously, the country was poor. There was a very bad infrastructure. They basically needed to build everything, all the functions, all the administration anew, well, from the very beginning, from scratch. And well, I would say for big Russia, it was easier. There was a lot of resources. But for small Georgia, that also for so many years had been destructured, by the Soviets, it was very difficult. So this is why. Let me also switch to the next camera. To the front camera. That's why, because I'll be also sharing some more images. So that's why uh, for Georgia, it was very difficult, and it took about dozen of years to kind of get back to normal. And many things changed also in times of Saakashvili as well. He's like, I know that it's not really like people are not really unanimous when it gets to whether Saakashvili did more good or more bad, but definitely during his administration, many buildings would be restored, modern architecture emerged. Thank you, Cindy. As I said, it's totally okay if you need to leave. I'll be just sharing more stories as well as the tour goes. Um, so that's why many buildings that you see in Georgia are still in pretty bad condition. But there is like during times of Saakashvili, things changed, and well, the a lot of institutions emerged. Exactly. Preserving the heritage monuments. What I'm showing you is, well, the aerial view of exactly that station, intermediary one with the two funiculars. Yeah, the zoo. Yes, Vera Park is not here. Yeah, I'm aware of that flood. This is true. So there was a really bad flood, and some animals died. This is true. I haven't been to the zoo yet, by the way. I haven't been there. I'm not a big fan of zoo in general. Really not a big fan. Woof. Sorry. Up, 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 up. So I promised to share with you some more stories. So remember, I said that well, on the same station that I showed you with the two funiculars, also one can get off technically when the hours permit. And there are two things to see: the church of David Gareji and also the cemetery. It's called Pantheon Cemetery, and it started from the grave and the grave of the Russian poet, as I said, and also diplomat Alexander Griboyedov. Let me share with you. Let me share with you his portrait because I should have it. Yeah, I have it. Alexander Griboyedov. So this is him. Thank you so much for the coffees. I don't see the name here, but I see coffees coming in. This means a lot to me. Thank you. Alexander Griboyedov is well, he's basically known for one literature work. But it made him basically, it immortalized him forever, forever in the Russian language and the Russian history, and not only Russian, I would say in the entire former Russian Empire. It's called Woe from Wheat. It's a poem. Actually, was like a uh, comedy in four acts, as it says here, and so this is, I would say, a lot of critique to the hypocrisy of the elite, of aristocracy, and how things ran geographically challenged. What do you mean by geographically challenged? Sorry, or geopolitically challenged? Is that what you mean? Sorry, Barbara. Since I can't really see messages for a long time, um, hold on a second. I might be able. Oh, actually, I can see it now. Good, because that button app didn't work before. Geographically challenged at the moment, but this area. No, 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 Barbara. So Georgia is a country now. It's an independent country again, starting from 1990, and it used to be part of the Russian Empire and part of the Soviet Union as well. But now it's independent Georgia. And yes, please feel free to ask. And you're seeing this because I'm looking for another illustration. So he originally was from St. Petersburg, and he was a diplomat. He spoke Arabic. He spoke multiple languages, and he had friends. Thank you for asking, Barbara. He had friends in Georgia, and he was once, staying with Chavchavadze family, and those are exactly the the ancestors. You remember the Chavchavadze, the Ilya Chavchavadze? Let me show you again his portrait. So Ilya Chavchavadze is he lived in the late 19th century, writer who fought for the sovereignty of Georgia, and also of the Georgian language, and it means independence from the Russian language as well. So this is Ilya Chavchavadze, and his grandfather was friends to Griboyedov. Also Chavchavadze family. This is Griboyedov, and he was staying with Chavchavadze family multiple times. And once he visited Chavchavadze family, and this is where he saw a lady. He remembered her from some 15 years ago when she was just a little girl, but he saw her as a young lady, beautiful one, Nina or Nino Chevchavadze, and he fell in love with her. It was love at first sight. And while he was staying there, basically the next day, um, he was just waiting for her in the house, and then he asked her to. He took her hand and asked her to follow him. He took her to the library, and then this is when he told her he loved her, and he basically proposed the next day, and they kissed. This is from his memoirs. I remember those. I remember that reading that. It's still at school, and it was like, ooh, almost 18 plus kind of story. My heart was really, really racing when I read that. I remember it. Can you imagine? It's getting really crowded now. So we were the first ones, to get the best spots. So we really, really have the VIP spots. And now the sad story begins. So they got married, but a week after their marriage, Griboyedov, because he was a diplomat, he was sent to Persia, to Iran, and in Tehran, uh, well, there was an event to attend, and this is when he was just surrounded by a gang of some Muslim fanatics, and he was basically lynched. So his head was severed from the body. It was horrible. It was horrible. At that time, Nina was um, Nina would only know much later. Oh, sorry. What I forgot to say that actually, they wouldn't go. Sorry, I just missed out a little bit. Some several months. So they lived for several months together after the wedding, and then they had to leave to Iran. Sorry, I missed out an important part in the timeline. Why? Because she was pregnant. So it took them some time to get pregnant. So she was, like 6 months pregnant. Anyway, so they went together to, to that business trip, and some halfway through, Alexander decided to leave her in, and just, he asked her to wait for him, and he went to Tehran, and he would never come back. And the pregnant Nina learned about his death a little bit later, and this, so he was buried in Tbilisi, exactly there on Tatsminda mountain. And if you let me zoom it in for you, that's a very sad story, a really heartbreaking story. Wait a minute. And what I want to show you is that on his gravestone, there is a oh, there is a cross over here, and there is a woman leaning on the cross. So this is her mourning her husband. She lived for another 30 years, and she was so heartbroken. She lost a child. So actually, well, the child was born prematurely and only lived for 1 hour. So the baby died, and she lived for another 30 years. And when she died from cholera, she was buried next to him. And this is her burial site. So his grave was the first one, and it basically gave start to the Pantheon Cemetery, where the outstanding Georgian writers and poets are buried. And I mentioned Characterized, I mentioned Besiki, I mentioned in my other tours I mentioned a lot of like poets and writers of Tbilisi, of Georgia, and they're all buried there. I will show you some more illustrations. So as I see, I prepared a bunch of stories. So while we're waiting for the funicular to take us down, so I'll show you. So this is, by the way, this is the black and white photo of their grave. So this is the oldest grave, the first half of the 19th century. There you go. And just some modern photos of the Pantheon. So I know that some of you are interested in cemeteries, so I will be taking you there for some stories, but it's going to take me some more time as I'm researching so much more for my tours. It is very sad, Cindy. I know that's what the Pantheon looks like now. Yep. So this is a sad story. This is a sad story. Also, you may remember an outstanding Georgian artist, Niko Pirosmani or Pirosmanishvili. I want to show you his portrait just in case you forgot. I mention him at every tour of Tbilisi that I do because he is the most distinguished artist of Georgia, as I said, turn of the 20th century. And even Pirosmani actually depicted the funicular. This is how big it was, and I want to show you the illustration. There you go. So this is his his painting. As you know, Pirosmani, he would be working in the primitivistic style. He never studied art. He was basically very from a poor family. They lived in a farm, and they worked for a rich family, rich family in Kalantarovs. We saw their we saw their palace in Sololaki, and actually it looks like very soon we'll be going down. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. There you go. Yay! Yay! We are going down. Let's see. Let's see. So luckily it's not really dark. The lights are on. So I might be disappearing, but I will be rejoining. Don't worry. This is scary. This is scary as you're going down in the front row. It's quite a mile. That's quite a lot. Half a kilometer. So we'll be approaching this halfway station shortly. Ooh, beautiful Tbilisi. Ooh. On this level, on the level uh, of this halfway station, but you can't see from behind the pine trees. There you go. So you see approach in the city. You see the dome of the Trinity Cathedral. You see the Trinity Church in full splendor over there from afar. So definitely it's the same axis. I think there was definitely, well, it was. Oh, looks nice when it's lit. Yay! Yay! Good. That's good. And you see the Moorish windows. It's great to know that some 27 people are still on tour. This is so great. Thank you for keeping me company. I hope you weren't bored, and I'm so sorry with that really, really sad story. What a wonderful time. Oh, thank you, Barbara. I'm so happy you enjoyed it. I so very much enjoyed. Oh, thank you so much. I nearly forgot my umbrella. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay. Again, I can hear this echoing in my ears because of the pressure. Oh, that's a nice. It's a nice umbrella. I really like the colors. Okay. Anyway, so I promised you. So we're going to wrap this up very soon. But before, I need to show. I need to show you the pavilion from the outside once again because I was in a hurry, and that was good that I actually hurried a bit. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to get on, on the funicular and take the best seats. So actually, both ways we actually had the best seats, front row. Yeah, it was Georgian flag umbrella. Exactly, exactly. Look, it looks even more ornate. So originally there were no these two small towers added. They were added a bit later. I'm not sure exactly when. I'll show you the old photos once again, so you'll be able to see for yourself. And oh my goodness, this tour is already 94 minutes. Oh, thank you so much for spending this 94 minutes of your weekend with me. I appreciate it beyond words, and thank you for all the support. It You have no idea what it means to me. So, by the way, so this is the old the old photo of the lower station once again. So you see, it hasn't really changed a lot. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. So as I said, there's just these two towers from the sides were added over there. Oh, thank you, Christine. And oh, thank you, Natalie. This is very sweet. What I haven't shown you because I was in a hurry. The upper station pavilion, which is not really impressive now. I mean, the upper station. That's the also what's inside. Well, what was inside. And this is already the Soviet time pavilion up the mountain. Nothing very impressive. Well, I mean, it's just the Stalin Empire architecture, and as you know, Beria oversaw all of that because he was an engineer. So he basically was Beria Empire style in Tbilisi rather than Stalin. Yeah, but it's it still looks nice. I mean, it could have been much worse. So it was so worth it, Maria. Thank you so much. I believe it was really worth it. And all the worries I really slept poorly last night because I was worried whether I will be able to take it here or not, and how it would go. I tested the connectivity like a few days ago, but I wasn't sure anyway because when you test it, like it's one thing, but then you never know if it actually is going to work the way it works on the test. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this tour. I so much enjoyed taking you on the top of Tbilisi. And so next weekend, the tour description, which is very lousy because I wasn't sure if it's going to be Chugoretti, but it's going to be the 19th century Chugoretti neighborhood. I will update the tour description shortly, but it's there on my website, annayourguide.com. I will be so updating the schedule, and you can already book a spot next weekend on YouTube. I'm taking you to the beautiful Arnavoj neighborhood, very international. I will explain. Not gonna, not no more spoilers. It's gonna be beautiful. So thank you so much. The recording, if you joined later, will be available on my channel shortly at 10 p.m. local time, GMT +4, and I have no idea what time it is now, but I can check. I'll see you in the Russian Museum in less than 2 hours, in like almost 2 hours from now. Meet me in the Russian Museum of St. Petersburg, which is also the Romanov residence. And by the way, the funicular station was built in the imperial times by the Belgian company. And for 40 something years, well, according to the agreement, the Belgians were also supposed to get the biggest share because they would be the main shareholders, the main investors and shareholders in the entire construction. So thank you so much for the coffees and PayPals. If you still would wish to tip me, if you haven't done it yet, there on the chat there is a pinned message. There is a link to my PayPal and to buy me a coffee. I'll see you in Russian Museum in 2 hours from now. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it so much, so much. And yes, it was a little bit impromptu because I had to redesign a little bit the entire tour itinerary because of the weather, but it was worth it. It was worth getting dumped. It was worth getting rain on. It was worth sleeping a couple of times on my way. It was really worth coming here in advance. So it's just lovely. And we had best seats, front rows, back and forth. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Beautiful Mtatsminda mountain. We'll be coming back to see the church and the Pantheon Cemetery, I promise, a little later. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, everyone. Love you so much, and see you in 2 hours in the Russian Museum of St. Petersburg. And next week is Jerusalem German Colony and Cemetery. It's the Russian Museum again, and it's Tbilisi, and it's also the Museum of Nicholas II. This tour will be doing with virtual tours. Bye bye, everyone. My goodness, I'm almost 100-minute long tour. This is crazy, absolutely. And it smells so nice now. I'm just gonna wait. Well, it's just 100 minutes, and we are done. This is a lovely area. It's a playground, and Sololaki neighborhood is just that way. And originally the plan was to go up a very steep hill, and it was really slippery. And I thought it would be a lot more charming to actually take you to the this neighborhood where we walked, because it's so off-beaten and so unique. So that's why I kind of really changed the plans a bit. This is it. Thank you, everyone. 100 minutes. So they're crazy. Now I'm going home to see my boys and get ready for the Russian Museum tour. Bye. Bye. And one more reason why I'm doing it here. So there you go. A beautiful heart. Bye bye, dears.